Thank you for visiting my channel, Medical Assistant with Miss K. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. My name is Kendra, aka Miss K, and I am a medical assistant instructor. I teach both clinical and medical administrative assistant courses. So today I'm going to be talking about some do's and don'ts when you're on your externship. Now, this video was requested by a few people, and I wanted to do a video like this anyway because I've noticed I have found myself saying a lot of the same things over and over to many of my students over the years. So this lets me know that this is something that really needs to be talked about. So if you're in school and going on externship soon, you definitely want to tune into this, or maybe you're already on externship, you need to tune into this as well. So the very first thing that I want to say is that you definitely want to be on time every single day, okay? Your externship is pretty much like an interview. They are watching you to see if you will be a good fit. They are determining whether they want to hire you as a medical assistant by looking at your attendance. They're going to be looking at your skills. They're going to be looking at how you work with other people. So you want to be on time every day, which takes me to a don't. Don't call out while you're on your externship, okay? I know things happen. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People are still getting sick. People are still getting COVID. So, you never know what might happen. You may even get exposed to COVID and have to quarantine. And those are things that, you can't help. And so because there's going to be things that come up that you can't help, when you can help it, go to work. Like I said, it's an interview. And so you want to show them that you're a good employee, because if you're calling out on your externship and not showing up, getting there late, they're going to think that's the type of employee, the type of employee you'll be. And I even tell my students, even in class, the ones that are constantly showing up late or, calling out of school, not even calling out, not even letting me know that they're going to be absent for class, they just don't show up. If you're acting like this in class, I'm going to assume that you're going to go out into the world and act like this, right? So you definitely want to be on time and show up every single day. Another thing you want to do is take initiative. Take initiative means that you don't wait for them to ask you to do something. You just do it, So if you happen to see that, the lobby is dusty, needs to be wiped down, and you have some free time, just go ahead and, go wipe it off. Magazines need to be straighten it up. Chairs out in the lobby need to be wiped off. Just do it, anything that you see that needs to be done, just offer. And so, as a medical assistant instructor, part of my job has been to visit externship sites. And I'll tell you, the best report that I've gotten for one of my students was the nurse manager. She just went on and on about how my student never sat still. She said she's always wanting to know what she can do next. She takes initiative, and so definitely take initiative. Don't let them have to ask. And that's going to take me to my next don't sit around. Don't be on your phone, right? So if you have some downtime, like I said, find something to do. You want it to be at a point where they're telling you to have a seat, right? They're telling you, it's okay, you're good, go ahead and take a break, and that was one of the things that nurse manager told me about my student. She's like, we have to tell her to have a seat, and so you want to just be that person, always looking for something to do. And then when they tell you go have a seat, then you go have a seat, right? Another don't be on your phone, texting and, personal phone calls. Don't be on your phone. Now, and if you're like me and you're a mother or a father and, you need to be accessible, that's understandable. Keep your phone on you, but keep it on vibrate. Don't get on your phone and be scrolling on social media and all those things. Keep your phone put away. Another do, you want to be teachable, right? Do be teachable. That means that you're listening, you're taking notes, right? You're open to, doing things differently. Even when it comes to phlebotomy technique, injection technique, right? They're going to be, they've been doing this for some time as well. So their technique may be a little bit different than what you learn in school. So be teachable, as long as they're not telling you to do the wrong thing, they don't have you, drawing blood with no gloves on, and they don't have you, working outside your scope and doing things that you absolutely know you're not supposed to do. It's okay. Be teachable. Be willing to learn different things. I had a student years ago who She had taken an RMA exam before she went on externship, and she went on externship, and they pretty much couldn't tell her anything. She was already throwing it out there. I'm an RMA, and I didn't learn it that way. This is how we do. And they let her go. She was actually fired from 2 externship sites because she wasn't teachable, And so, people are more willing to work with someone who struggles with their clinical skills, but they're teachable. They'll rather work with that person who is excellent with their clinical skills, but it's not teachable. So I don't care how much experience you have. I've been in this field, like I said, like I mentioned in my videos before, 17 years. And guess what? If I go work at a new office, I need to be teachable because they do things differently than what I'm accustomed to, right? So always be teachable. Never get so high and mighty in your head that you feel like you know so much, and you're so good that you don't need to be taught. Don't think that cleaning is beneath you, right? Don't think that you're above cleaning up. I've had students that say, Miss K, I didn't go on externship to be cleaning no bathroom. Guess what? I was cleaning the bathroom on my externship. I was in a private office, and so we shared the responsibility. That goes back to what I said about taking initiative, right? You want them to see that you are willing to work. Like, nobody wants to clean a bathroom. I don't even want to clean a bathroom at home, but I have to do it, right? We have to do it. If they want you to clean the bathroom, clean the bathroom. If they want you to, wipe off chairs in the lobby, or, in the exam rooms, just do it. If they want you to sweep, just do it. It's a part of the job. It's a part of externship. It's a part of, it's a part of working, especially if you're in a private office. Now, and if you're in a big company, they have people for those jobs. But if you're in a private office, you have to share in the duties. So don't think that cleaning is above you. Don't think that filing is above you. I've had students reach out, Miss K, they got me filing. I don't want to file. That goes back to being teachable, and it goes back to showing initiative. A lot of externship sites, they will have you doing those things in the beginning, and then they'll transition you. Now, there are some sites that'll just put you, to work on the first day, but many sites, they may start you off with filing, administrative stuff, maybe even, like I said, cleaning up here and there. And then, as the weeks goes on, and as you begin to, kind of prove yourself, because you are trying to prove yourself at the end of the day, they'll have you doing other things. So just be open, okay? And on the flip side, I will say, do not be afraid to speak up if you have a site that is treating you poorly, okay? Now, I've had experience with students who have came to us and let us know that they were being treated poorly. They were being talked to poorly. They were being taken advantage of. They were being asked to do things that is outside of their scope. So do not be afraid to speak up to your school, to your externship coordinator, your dean, whoever you need to speak to at your school. Let them know what's going on, because then a conversation needs to happen, and then potentially that contract may even need to be ended, because there are some bad offices out there. There are some bad managers out there. There are some, bad doctors out there, bad providers out there. So, I don't want you to just think that I'm saying just take anything, take disrespect. I've had a student be cussed out by an office manager on externship, and so these people are human. They're not perfect. And so I don't want to paint the picture that every externship site is just going to be great and you're never going to have any problems. But if you do have issues like that, where you're being disrespectful, you feel threatened, your life is in danger, definitely speak up. Don't be afraid to ask questions, okay? Don't be afraid. If you don't know something, speak up. Don't be afraid to say, well, you know what? I don't know. I don't remember. I remember learning that in school, but can you remind me? Can you give me a little refresher on that? Don't be afraid. They know you're fresh out of school, right? And don't be afraid to have them demonstrate for you. So if this is your first time drawing blood on your externship site, and and you feel like you want them to demonstrate it first, don't be afraid to say, hey, I did learn it in school. I'm comfortable with doing it, but do you mind just doing it for me first? Or if you have to give an injection, do you mind just doing one for me first, and then I'll feel more comfortable doing it after you? So it's okay. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to speak up and say, I don't remember that, or I need a refresher, or I got it, but I just need to see you do it, So their job, even though it is your job to, you're getting a grade, you're getting your hands-on experience, they still have a responsibility to assist you and, and make sure that they're doing what they can to help you do your best. And as I just mentioned, your externship is like an interview. So you definitely want to treat it as such. You definitely want to treat it as, not just me getting my hands-on experience. You want to treat it as these people are watching me. This is my opportunity to get a job. I was hired on my externship years ago when I became a medical assistant back in 2004. And there were other students that were there with me. But one of the things that I did, I kept my distance. And that's one thing that I will say is a do stand out. If you know people in your externship, stand out. Don't get caught up in office gossip, office politics, and things like that. I had a student who befriended another MA in the office, and it turns out that MA was the MA that she would have been replacing because they were looking to get rid of her, and she befriended her. They got cool, and because they were so cool, the office manager, the doctors, they kind of grouped them together and said, we don't need another, I'll just use this as an example, Shelly. Sorry if there's a Shelly watching this. We don't need another Shelly in an office. We're trying to get rid of her. We don't need another one, so just be mindful of that. Try not to get too, buddy with people that go in and do your job. Be nice, be cordial, be friendly, be teachable, as I mentioned, but try not to, get grouped up with any, try not to get in any cliques. Don't, somebody's in the office talking bad about somebody, just walk away. Don't get in any drama while you're in your externship. So I'm going to give you guys one more do. And there's so many do's and don'ts that I can give you when it comes to externship, but I can be talking for hours because as I'm talking, more and more things are coming up as I'm talking. It's just, I'm being reminded of my own experience, my students, and so I can talk for hours. So I'm just going to give you all one more. And I would say do accept the offer if they offer you the job, right? So some of my students are disappointed with the pay that they offer, and I get it. I will tell you, I'm going to reveal the pay that I was offered when I got hired on my externship. And now, mind you, this was back in December 2004, January 2005. So things were different back then, but it was still very low. And I'll share my story in a different video. But if you get hired, accept the job. Why? Because it's easier to get a job when you already have a job, right? The only way I would say don't accept it is if you maybe have another job already lined up, right? And you're like, I'm good, I have a job, and then I understand. But if they offer you the job, take the job, get the experience, right? And then you can be applying to other jobs in the meantime. I did have a student, though. I do understand if you just absolutely can't take the job, because I did have a student years ago. She was married. She had 3 or 4 children, I think, and the pay that they were offering her, it just didn't make any sense for her because she has a family, and there was no parking where she was going to work. So she would have had to catch the metro or pay for parking, and what they were offering her was so low that it was like she would have just really been paying for parking, to be honest. And so in situations like that, I understand if you absolutely just can't do it. I get it. But if you're someone who, maybe you wanted a certain amount and they've given you $1 or $2 below that, but this is your first job, take it. Especially for those of you that are still at home with mom. If you're still at home with mom and dad, take the job. And like I said, in the meantime, just apply, because, it can be hard to find a job. I just did a video where I gave, top 3 ways to find a job as a new medical assistant. Check that out if you haven't already, but it can be hard out here, So if you're one of those ones that get blessed to get hired in your externship, even if it's not where you want to work, right? You wanted to work with pediatrics, right? But your externship coordinator, they put you in internal medicine or infectious disease, right? Just take the job, and in the meantime, apply, because like I said, it's easier to get a job when you already have a job. So I hope that these tips were helpful for you today. If you have any video suggestions or questions, as always, feel free to email me. I'll leave it down below, or you can even comment in the comments down below and let me know, your questions or suggestions or anything you would add. Give me some externship tips, some externship do's and don'ts that you would add to this list. Let me know down below. Also, I want to put it out there again. I'm looking for some people to interview on this channel. I want to, you know, start interviewing some medical assistants and, you know, just talking about your experiences and things like that. I haven't been in the field since 2017. So I've been, because, you know, like I said, I've been teaching for years. I've been in the field for years. So I kind of go back and forth. I'll teach for a few years and then I'll go back into the field. But, you know, I prefer teaching. So I think this time I'm going to stick with teaching. I may go out. I don't know. We'll see. But yes, I've been out the field for a while. And so I kind of want to talk about, you know, your experiences as medical assistants working during COVID and, you know, just how things are going these days. So if you're open to that, email me. The email be down below. So if you didn't already, subscribe to my channel, like this video if you found it helpful. Be blessed.